coming to this meeting. Glad to see you all. So, first of all, the reason why we decided to arrange such presentation is that we have discovered that many our users are not using the system to the full potential, and some do not even fully realize the potential it gives and even the purpose for which it was made. So that's why we decided to fill this gap and and show the system ourselves. So if you have used the system already and you are using it actively, then probably we will refresh your knowledge of the system. But if you have not used it, we will explain why, what advantages it gives to you. Okay, so I see that people keep coming. So I see other participants are joining. But anyway, I'm going to start with the purpose of the system. So Protemos is an online business management system. It's not a CAD tool. It's not a job portal. But it's a software that lets you track your own projects and lets you track your deadlines, lets you record the client's order, you may organize files, you may generate the invoices and track the payment. So I'm going to start showing it. Actually, you can see demo here from our website where we described all the features. And I think most of you already have Protemos account, so I will skip this registration part. Okay. Before I start showing the system, I'd like to briefly describe some of the ideas. Is that the question I normally ask in the companies, when I have the webinar with the translation company, I always ask them a questions. What are you doing, and why do you think your clients pay to you? And many companies make a mistake in telling me that the client pay us for the translation. This is not true in case of the companies, because the translation is done by the translators. And what companies do, they manage the translation. They filter, they select the translators, they coordinate the projects, they control the quality. So the companies, for the translations companies, are not paid for the translation. They paid for the management. But in case of the translator with the freelancers like you, so since you are a freelancer, since you are independent, if you are an independent supplier of client, both direct client and maybe also some translation companies that you cooperate with. In your case, it matters a lot if you consider yourself employee or a businessman, because if you're employee, then you're just doing the translation, the task that they give to you. But if you consider your activity a business, then you are not just a translator. You are like a single-person company, and it means that apart from translating, you are doing lots of other supplementary work that does not really get paid for the client. If you consider how much you work, and if you calculate your hourly rate, how much you make you're making per hour, so this amount, your hourly income is not the same as your hourly rate for your clients, because for example, if you are working 8 hours a day, but you translate only 6 hours a day, and the rest of the day you're making invoices, writing blog articles, some marketing, sales activities, some accounting, whatever you might be doing, then it means that those 2 extra hours that you are not translating, that's your work, and you do not get paid for them. And so the idea is that the less time you spend on these non-translation activities, the more you're getting per hour. And Protemos is the software that is made to save your time on these supplementary activities that you do not have to, then it's not a translation. Okay, and Protemos helps you to arrange your projects and keep your clients and keep your prices and remember everything that you have done and make the picture of your single person business. Okay, let me show the interface. First of all, I guess most of you are using it. If you are not using, this is how it looks. The first thing that you have to do when you start with Protemos is that you set some values. This is the way how you work, what language pairs, what services, what specialization units. Also SMTP server if you'd like it. So you set up the system. Then once you have the basic values entered, you need to enter your client data, your client database into the system. So you may create your clients manually, like I'm doing now. So you fill in all the fields, and you get the client in your database. Or you can import them all from the Excel spreadsheet. And after you enter your clients into the system, then you may create projects and invoice them. So let me show you the example of the client. Okay, so this is the client profile. On the client profile, you can enter all the contact information. You can enter the currencies that they pay, the payment terms, how soon they should pay to you. Also, you may enter the contact persons that you're cooperating with, the price list that you agreed with this client, maybe the documents that you signed for them, like NDA, contract, or some other kind of agreement. So this part you may use just to keep the information about your clients, which sometimes is really valuable if you have lots of clients and you want to remember them all. So the next thing is that once you have the clients in the system and the system is set up, you may start working. Oh, by the way, we have one of the things is that we have a client portal. You can actually invite your clients into the system, and the client can submit your projects via the system, which might be very comfortable for you, but I understand that this is a hard thing to do, to convince your client to submit projects to you in that way. But anyway, there is such an opportunity. Okay, let me show you the projects. Sometimes, I guess most of the cases, you start with the quotes. When the potential client or real client asks you for the quote and asks you how, okay, we've got the file to translate or to edit or to do any other kind of work, then how soon can you deliver and how much it will cost to us. You may create a quote for your client here. just enter, let me enter it. So you just fill in the fields. Select the currency, let it be Euro, language pair, let it be French English, client. Okay, so you set enter the time when you deliver, and you create the quote, and then you may, if the client has sent you any files, you may upload these files into the system so that then you may be using it, and you enter how much you are going to charge your client in your offer. You can enter flat rate. Flat rate means that you just enter the amount, like 1,000 euro, or you can enter the unit-based amount, which means that you enter just the number of units, like the number of words in this case, and you enter price per unit, let it be this one, and you create this. So here's the quote. I have created a quote and I'm going to send it to my potential client for this potential job. I can download the quote to see how it looks. Let me show it to you. And okay, so this is the example of the quote, the official document that you may send for the client. Like, okay, this is my suggested delivery date. This is how much I'm going to charge you. And just let me know if you accept it or not. So you can send it directly from the system without using your email client. Okay, I'm sending this to my client. And the quote has been sent. Then you wait for the reply from your customer. If they say, no way, we have found someone else, you just press reject. If they agree, you press accept. And the accepted quote can be turned into the project. Then you may complete the project. Simple as that. Then, okay, you can skip the quote stage is non-compulsory. If you have a regular client who sends you the project without asking questions how much and how soon, they just issue a PO and set the delivery date, you may start from creating a project without creating a quote. So let me show how just any project works. So within every project, you can enter the basic project details, like the customer, the deadline, any tags, the language pair. Then you may upload the files delivered by the customer, that the customer sent to you, and enter how much the customer is going to pay to you. So once everything is entered, then when you deliver the files, you may enter what you have delivered to your customer into the system, and deliver the files to your client and close the project. That's it. So the purpose of the system in this case is just to track and record the project, to keep the records of all your projects that you have done, and also to save the files, because anytime you can find the project whenever you need it. For example, if the client contacts you and says to you, okay, I need some little update into that file that you sent me 3 months ago, then you can just go into the system, find that file that you've delivered, and redeliver it. So it greatly simplifies the search for you. Okay, then apart from the project management, there are finances. So you, based on the values that you entered previously when you were creating the project, you can create invoices. Just a couple of clicks, you can create invoice. Okay, the system generates the PDF from your data. Okay. This is how it looks. Oh, by the way, this template is customizable to some degree. You can add your logo. You can change the way how it looks a bit, but you need to play with the settings. And if the invoice and you can enter all sorts of taxes. You can enter discounts, extra charges if you need it. So this invoice is really flexible. And once it's done, you may send it to your client directly from the system. And by the way, the system generates the text, the standard text with the invoice attached. You can change this text if you do not like how it looks. And then you send the file to the customer. Once you send the file to the customer, the system starts counting the time. So you have sent the invoice, and now the system knows that there are 30 days left for them to pay. If you do not enter the payment within 30 days, then the system will write you a message that looks like the customer is late with the payment, and you can then contact the customer if you want, if you need to get your money. So the system sends you a reminder instead if the invoice is overdue. It also sends you the reminder if the project is overdue, if you do not close it in time. So it helps you to track things. And when the client pays to you, you may create a payment, create linked payment, and if you do so, you mark this invoice as paid. In this way, you can track your payments, payment relations with your customers. So you can see which jobs have not, which projects, which receivables have not been invoiced yet. You can check the status of your invoices, if they are overdue or not overdue, if you should contact client or not. So you can see the system tells you everything. If you have many customers and many invoices, this is the way to track them all. And the system has filters on every page, so you can easily search any piece of data. For example, if I want to find the invoices from this customer, those which are overdue, I can just use the filter and display. There are no invoices from this customer which are overdue. Then let me display it differently. Okay, so here we are. We have filtered all overdue invoices. Then I may check it with the customer why they have not paid, and discover when they should pay. But this is the way to track all the invoices. Also, every grid, every table that you have in the system can be exported to Excel spreadsheet. So you can use it to export this into Excel and then use it in some other purposes, to import in some other system, or to somehow process this file if you need it. Also, the next thing is that reporting. It's very important for you to, for every businessman, for every single person business to know how much you're making every month. And these reports, you can easily see it. If you enter each project, each client, you can then see the dynamics of every month, if your income is falling or if it is growing. Then you can see, by the way, you can see the receivables by projects. You can see how you invoice your clients and how they pay to you. These are three different diagrams, because sometimes it may happen that it takes a month until the client pays, so you can see how much job you had, how much invoices you made, and how much payment you got. These are three different diagrams. Then there is a report. There is a report by quotes. You can check quote conversion rates. How many quotes you lost and how many quotes you won. This is the important statistic to understand if you are how much success you are having in getting the potential projects. The next import is the income by invoices or income by payments. So that shows you how many invoices you are doing, and it's the invoices by client. So you can filter a specific client and see if your sales volume for them is growing or falling. It's very important thing to know if some customer sends you more or less job, then you can easily discover this on this diagram. And here you can see the importance of each of your clients. You see, this one is Acme LLC sends me more than 80% of my job. This one sends me 10%, and this one is less than 8%. So I can make conclusion based on the client importance. Okay, then the same report can be by payments, just by clients, by client country, by type of clients. So you see there are filters here. So to put it short, Protemos is the system that keeps you organized, that keeps you organized in terms of business. Because why it's important? Because as I mentioned in the beginning in this meeting, is that freelancing, it's not just being a translator. It's being a businessman of your business. It's a small business. It's managing your business yourself. Because in translation agency, if you are a translator, then you are a translator, and the other folks are doing some other job, accountant, marketer, director, and other employees are doing some other part of the job. If you are a freelancer and if you are independent, then it means that you are a translator, you are a marketer, you are a salesperson, you are a marketing person, and you need to manage all this as effective as possible to have more time for the translation and have potential for the growth. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions to ask, you're welcome. Just let me know if I should describe something that you would like to know.
Yes, please. You can unmute your microphone and ask the question you have.
Or you can just type them in the chat.
Yeah, I'll just type them in the chat. Let me add a note so you can identify where it is. I just sent a message via the chat room.
Yeah,
so please.
you have the chat window. in case you have any questions. Okay, so no questions so far. Just to make sure that there is really no question, then we will wait for another. Oh yeah, I see the question, the first one. Okay, the question from Mariana, that is there any plans to have the function where we log expenses, bills, stationery, etc. Yes, we have such plans. We have such plans to enter the expenses. We're not sure when it comes out, because you see the freelance version that you are using. This is the free version. It's no charge. We are not getting anything in terms of profit for it, also. It's just given for free. We have another version. We have enterprise version, which costs money, and it has it has a bigger functionality. I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but let me just show how it looks. Okay. Let me just give me a second to log into another account. Okay, so just a second. It's keeping log. So to put it shortly, enterprise version lets you has more capabilities, and it lets you. In fact, it lets you enter the expenses because here in enterprise version, you can create jobs for your translators, but it's not only translators. You can create a vendor like a stationery shop or some electricity company, and enter your expense as a job of your supplier. So you can enter here vendors, your suppliers, and then whatever you pay to your supplier, you can create a project, and then a project for which you are not getting paid, but with the job that you have to pay. So there is a workaround in the enterprise version. This is not exactly what you're asking. This is not exactly the expenses, but we are going add expenses feature as such. But before we do so, there is still workaround in enterprise version. Okay, so any other questions? One concern some people one concern some people might have is regarding GDPR. Who has access to files and clients' data? This question can be divided into three ones. The first one, who has technical access, who can access them technically, and the second one, who really who is allowed to access them. Because, you know, every software, if you take technical part, that every software developer, every programmer technically can enter, can have access, because it's just the way the software works. But there are legal requirements and there are technical requirements here, and in Protemos, no one from support, no one has access to no one allowed to have the access to the data. But technical team, the lead programmer may have access upon the request of the user, because sometimes when it happens that you've lost some file or whatever happened, you occasionally deleted, some user occasionally deleted some projects, and then they are asking for the help. In this case, we have to, to check there, because there is a question from the user. In other case, we do not access them. We do, of course, it's only your data, and we are GDPR compliant, and it's our primary concern that your data are protected, because there is a very simple reason for this. This is just our reputation, and a business of such type as ours is built upon the reputation. If we lose trust, then we lose business. That's it. So we do care for it, and we do follow the procedures to keep your files intact. Your files are safe as long as you do not safe as long as you do not share your password with anyone who should not have this access. We do not even store the passwords. We do not know your password. It's stored in a way that we cannot have access to it. So you can reset your password, but we do not know it. So that's it. Speaking about that search feature to freelance, the thing is that we are thinking about having some extended freelance version of the system to have more capabilities, because here now I'm showing the enterprise version. We have such global search function, which sometimes simplifies things, but in freelance version you only have the other type of search. For example, you still have a search, but search by specific object. For example, this is the project. If I click here on filter, I can search everything. I mean, this search is a kind of search that lets you find different objects that contain this word. You see, I have entered test, and I see the quotes with the name test, the projects with the name test, the job with the name, and vendors. So any record in the database that has this test. But this is when we make the extended version for the freelancers. This is going to be one of the options, but at the moment we do not have the time, the estimated time of release of the extended versions, because currently our priorities mostly concentrated on adding other features to enterprise version. Okay, is there a possibility to reset the number of projects job at the beginning of a new year so that I can begin with number 1 at the beginning of the year? Okay, let me let me log out and log in into freelance version again, because I need to show you how what's actually possible. So settings in system, in the settings you can see object codes. You can see object codes, and in one of the previous releases we have added the option to include a year in the invoice. You can actually, what I recommend is this is to switch off the year. Okay, include a year in invoice code. Okay, update, and Okay, I have removed the year from the invoice code, and what I'm doing now I want, for example, just okay, let me find the project or the project code. Yeah, in this case, next project ID, I would prefer to have the year 2021 and the number of projects. So this is kind of workaround that I may use. So in case this is not number one as you asked, but at least you can include this 2021 and then 00001. And this way you can use not to reset, but to differentiate the year in the invoice numbers. Okay, let me check if there are any questions. Okay. So, any other questions? Okay, yeah, then I'm start counting. If you have really no questions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, the question is if this webinar is made available afterwards. Yeah, we're going to send the recording to the freelancer, billing to the recording to the freelancers. So it will be possible to watch it. But anyway, apart from this webinar, I'm just to make sure that you know about the possibilities. There is here you have support button, and you have Protemos wiki, and you have freelance edition, quick start guide. I'm not sure if you read it, but we discovered that some of our users are not even aware about this possibility. But here we have the tutorial with videos. Some of these videos do not apply for freelance version like these ones, but most of the others work for you as well. So you may discover some things here that you may that may help for you. And we have also quick start guide. Let's see, quick start guides for. Okay, let me check it. It takes time to. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Lots of things like advanced options. So apart from this webinar, there are other ways to discover system features. Because I've described just the basic ones. If you need more details, you can just go to our Wikipedia and get the user manual. We have freelance user manual here, which describe all the features in details. In case if you need something, maybe you can find the information required here. And of course, our support is still working. You can contact us whatever question you have. Great then. So, okay, another 10 seconds waiting for the questions. If I do not see anything in the chat, then it means that no questions left. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Okay, so if you have no question, then we are going to finish this webinar. Thank you everyone for attending. It was nice to see you. In case if you need any help, after this webinar is over, just let us know. Use the support button to find whatever questions that might arise. Okay, thank you. Have a nice rest of the day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for attending our webinar.